I just penned down 2 questions here. We would like to start with that. Then we will take questions from the audience. So you mentioned about the K-12 study permit, that it's not affected by all these new policies, which means if anyone is studying below university level, below college level, they can still enjoy the all the opportunities that have always been there.
Yeah, I would say K-12 is too early to say that. Because K-12 does not need postgrad working permit and they are so young, you know, they don't need to work. Yeah, so the postgrad working permit is only applicable to the
I'm talking about
students,
study permit, not post-graduation work permit. Study permit for
Oh,
for
no, there is no effect. Yeah, there's no effect on the study permit.
So,
Yeah. So far now, the new rules changes, which is only to the master students, PhD student, which you need PAL, the PAL, after 1st November. And second changes will be the postgrad working permit. Master and PhD students, the spouse, if you go for the master program, they only limit you, if your master program is 16 months, then your spouse can get work permit. And the third changes is, just now I mentioned, postgrad working permit required English requirement after you graduated from your degree or your diploma, which means that if you wanted to change from study permit to postgrad working permit, then you need to submit the IELTS or TOEFL. So these are the 3 main changes.
So I'm still on the question I wanted to ask. So Guardian visa has not been affected.
Yes, Guardian visa is still the same. Yeah, so there is not too much changes on Guardian visa.
So
because we don't have too much of Guardians going there. Yeah.
The second question is about the language proficiency issue, the English test. Considering that some students from certain countries, for example, Nigeria, they are not required to provide English tests. So at this time, for the sake of the PGWP, will they be forced to provide the English test?
Yes. As I said, any application that after 1st November, you are from any country, English-speaking country or non-speaking country, you will need to provide the English language test in order to change from study permit to postgrad working permit. Any student permit that applied after 1st November, English language proficiency tests are required for PGWP few years later.
Okay, thank you very much for clarifying that. So I'm throwing the floor is open. If anyone has any question, please, if you can just use the raise hand function and I can ask you to unmute and ask your question, or you can type it in the chat box and we will try to copy.
Yeah. Any other question? But you can actually digest first. So of course, you know that Canada, for this postgrad working permit, you will have some, challenges which you need to submit the IELTS after a few years later, but it's not now. Yeah, it's not affect your study permit now. So do not need to worry about this. But other than that, of course, we also have other countries like UK, US, or Australia, yeah, which is also much more attractive for you if you actually keen to go for postgrad working permit or stay back for work for a long time or migration. Yeah, it's also an opportunity. Yeah. So for example, like other than Canada, we also can assist on the other countries, which is US, UK, Australia, Ireland. For UK, for example, we are running a very good program, which is actually about £14,000 for a program, 8 months, and it's actually an adult care program. So this adult care program does not have any age limit, does not have any background limit. So any one of them you can apply. And £14,000 sounds like very high cost, but we have offered a 5,000 scholarship for the students that applying now for January intake. So if you apply now with Arrows, you will have a 5,000 scholarship pounds. And after discounted, you only need to pay £9,000 as 1 year, 8 months tuition fee. And after these 8 months, you will be provided for a job, which is an adult care job. and you'll be able to work in UK. So this is a guaranteed job upon graduation. So half study, half working, which is a very attractive program for you all to consider in UK or compared to in Canada. Yeah. Of course, we also have other master program in UK or master program in Canada. Or if you are keen to go for diploma, we also have all sorts of opportunity. Any other question? I cannot hear you, was it?
Oh, sorry. I was saying if you have any question, please unmute yourself and ask. Because individual situations are different, so you may have a question that pertains to your specific situation. So you may want to ask.
Hello.
We will have a different situation.
Go ahead, please.
Hi.
Yes. My name is Ara. I'm currently studying civil engineering, right? I'm in my final year, so I would be looking to try and get like the master's opportunity around 2025, I guess. Currently, I'm not done. I still have like 2 semesters left, and I just want to ask, how often do people get scholarships for masters? And what are the requirements that would give you, like, that would put you in a better place to get these opportunities? Also, I mean, I don't know if you live in Canada, I don't know, but there's a lot of things we hear from outside, right? And we don't know if these things are true or not. So my second question would be, how feasible is it to do your master's in Canada and fund yourself based off of working there without support from home or anything? How feasible is this? I guess those are my 2 questions for now.
You mean in Canada or any
Yeah,
other?
in Canada,
Okay, in Canada, we will be distributed into different countries, different provinces and cities. So if you're actually looking at a lower costing, we can actually consider to go to Saskatchewan or Manitoba area, because these 2 locations, the living cost is roughly, it could be as low as around 8,000 to 10,000 Canada dollar per year. I would say if you cook at home or you don't eat out, you don't drink, of course, just eat normal, you will get to lower down your living costs as well. It's very low in these 2 areas. And if you're actually looking at, of course, Ontario or British Columbia, then the living cost will be up to $15,000 per year, including the tuition fees, including the food, meals, and transportation, as well as your rental. So my advice is, if you want to lower down your living costs by going into Canada, and also you want to find job part-time, it's easier for you to actually go into the provinces that is not so packed with many foreigners, because if you go into Ontario, BC area, will be much more packed with foreigners, and of course, it's more competitive to you to find a job as well, because you need to fight among all the international students there. And in terms of the scholarships, I would say that for master's scholarship is not that high as undergrad program in Canada. If you're looking at master scholarship, will be more to UK side. Yeah, it will be more to UK side. So some UK universities will offer scholarship up to like £6,000 or £8,000 for master graduate students, but it's not research. Okay, it's just a normal master course. Yeah, so in UK, Master of Research, you can bring your spouse, but non-research, you cannot bring your spouse. So your spouse can still apply a visitor visa to go over in UK as well. Yeah, so this is the major difference. In Canada, master program scholarship is not that high. But why say so? Because master program in Canada, we have some is very low fee, some is very high fee. It still depends on which uni that you go to.
Thank you very much. I have a question here. Someone is asking about work permit for students. Usually when student goes over to study in Canada, they can work during their study. So this
Yes.
new policy changes, has it affected anything about the opportunity to work? Can they still find jobs, or
No.
is it limited to particular programs now?
Yeah, so as we said, only the 3 affected areas of the 3 new rules. So for part-time, for the student permit, eligibility for part-time, and the student eligibility for co-op during their semester break does not affected. Yeah. So that time, the second half of the year has announced that student can work up to 40 hours. That is a new rules already. So this time, the second time announcement does not talk about the part-time job for students changes. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Another question, I think maybe the person missed the explanation you gave earlier, because the question is still in the same thing about English proficiency test. So usually students can request for the letter, medium of instruction letter
Yes,
from their institutions
together with
previously.
yes.
Yeah. So for admission, can they still request that? Does that still work for admission? Because
For
from what I
admission, study permit, no problem, because if you're actually teaching English, you can actually get waiver from some universities, but universities will also waive the IELTS requirement based on the student results as well, and where he come from and which uni you study as well. So for admission, no problem, but for the PGWP that you want to change after your graduation of your degree 3 years later, if you apply your study permit after 1st November, that you haven't applied now to Arrows for any schools in Canada, you have to apply now in order to get the offer letter and pay deposit before 25th of October. And we will get you the PAL poll before 30th. Then you can apply the visa on 31st of October. Then you will be waived for the PGWP English requirement. But if you apply after 1st November with Arrows for the application to Canada, then you will need to submit the IELTS requirement 3 years later after you graduated when you want to change to PGWP.
Thank you very much. Someone is asking a question that is not very clear here. Victor Nelson, this question is from you, and he says, if you are given admission for January for diploma, can one defer the admission based on time constraints? I think
yes, you can defer the offer, but normally the school will ask you to pay deposit to accept the offer first, and you defer the intake based on your personal reason.
So you can defer your offer, but before you can defer and hold your spot, you have to pay tuition deposit. That's the answer. So
that will be the best.
Tuition deposit.
Yeah.
So if not, secure that. If not, it will be given to someone else.
Correct.
Okay. And someone is asking, is there opportunity for postdoc?
Postdoc. Okay, I would say that what is your purse to do a postdoc? If you wanted to go to Canada for migration or for career purpose, I would say that you can do a second PhD or you can do a second master in Canada, that they are actually allowed that. Apply as a study permit to go there instead of postdoc, because in Canada, to find a job or migration, they don't need postdoc. Yeah, they don't need us for, highest qualification. They need our skills. They need our manpower to go there to work after graduation.
Okay. Thank you very much. And then, so someone is saying, are you saying Canada now has scholarship opportunities for undergraduate programs I'm not sure anyone has spoken about that.
Yeah. So
you know.
same with Ara. We have scholarship, but the scholarship for master in Canada is not so big amount because the fees in Canada is already very low. If you want scholarship, as I said, in UK will be much more higher amount scholarship for master program if you are merit student.
But I think if you also want to go for a research program, a research-based
Yes,
master's program,
research-based does
also
not have good
access
scholarship.
scholarship.
Yes,
And one
only
more thing,
cost-based.
one more thing is that if you want a scholarship, it's much easier when you are over there than when you are outside.
Correct.
Because there are a lot of research grants that lecturers, professors always have every year. And they have to employ students and pay them. But if you are not there, it's going to be hard to access such opportunities. So the best option is make arrangements in such a way that you can get yourself over there. And when you get there, you can see all those opportunities to access. And someone said, you mentioned something about Guardian Visa. What is that all about? So Guardian Visa... Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Guardian Visa is for the kids that is under K-12. That, if the kids is below 18, under colleges or K-12 high schools, primary schools, that the parents does not want the kid to stay in homestay, you can actually apply Guardian Visa to go together to the kids to study in Canada. So you will be the guardian of the kids. The kids does not need to stay in the homestay in Canada family.
But your child should be, I think, below 17. That is 1. 2, you won't be able to work. You will not get a work permit if you are going on a Guardian Visa. So you should know that beforehand. Toro Ishak asked, for someone who is applying for PhD, what is the minimum required MSc grade for admission?
Okay, for PhD students, I would say that if you're also looking at going for career opportunity and migration or going for career opportunity, you can actually go for second master or go for PhD. But for PhD, it's not so easy to enter in Canada because you need to get a supervisor. So my advice is if you wanted to change your environment, migration, or for work opportunity, go through study route, but apply for a second master will be easier to enter to Canada.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, I have a question, please.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you, Ma. I heard the other time that that one can go for another PhD, even though one already has a PhD, in order to come over to Canada. So I want to find out if the applicants need to go for high ELTS again, or what are the necessary things to be done?
No, I'm not too sure what she is asking for.
She's asking if someone is applying for a second PhD in Canada, do you need the IELTS? Do you need to take the test to apply? Is it required, or can you apply without the IELTS?
Okay, it's the same thing. It depends on which uni you apply to, which uni you are studying from, and we can get the medium instruction to get the waiver, but it's subject to approval from the uni for the waiver.
Can you please come again?
It's subject to university approval. Depends on where you study your PhD and which uni you apply to Canada.
Thank you. So one last question here.
Yeah, you can send the result to Arrows so that Arrows can process. You can send your result to Arrows so that, Arrows can check the eligibility with me for the waiver.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so for the question that was asked about PAL before, so if someone already applied and, they have applied for admission, they got the offer, and the PAL has been issued, and the person defer the offer, will they need another PAL issued when they are ready, or can they use the previous one?
Normally, the PAL will be valid for a period of time. So you need to apply the visa within the period of time.
So if the person doesn't apply for visa, the person is deferring the offer.
Yes,
So
if you put in the offer
yeah.
and the PAL is still valid for you to apply the visa, then you can apply the visa earlier for that deferred intake. You does not need to wait until the deferred intake, then you apply visa.
The problem is when you apply for visa, you are expected to travel within 6 months of the offer of visa. When your visa is approved, you have to travel within 6 months. If you are deferring an offer, usually for 1 year.
Sister, that one is only the visitor visa. For student visa, you want to apply earlier, you can apply earlier, but the IRCC will approve only 3 months before, 2 months before the intake starts.
Yeah, so back to the question now. You have gotten an offer. Let's say, for example, you're supposed to resume in January. You get an offer, you are resuming in January, you have applied for the PAL. PAL has been issued for you to travel in January, but then you decided to defer the offer till September next year. So will the PAL still be valid by September?
If your PAL is January expired, you already applied the visa. If you haven't applied the visa by January, then your PAL is already expired.
So what will you do?
Even though you defer the offer, you also need to apply the visa early. But the approval, it depends on the IRCC. But for example, if you already got offered this year January, but your defer offer to next year September, then the uni will give you a new PAL because it's more than 1 year for the offer letter and the PAL. So it still depends on the intake, I would say. Yeah, if the intake is very near, for example, it's this year January to September 2024. Actually, it does not have a very big gap. So you still can apply the visa with the current PAL for this year September intake. But if you are getting the PAL for this year January 2024, but you want to defer to next year September 2025, then the PAL will be expired, right? So the uni will give you a new PAL.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? I think I've exhausted the question.
Good morning, ma'am.
Sorry, ma.
Okay, please go ahead, Dr. William.
All right, ma. If you are invited to come over to Canada, because I heard you the other time that we should find our ways down there in search of maybe scholarship that is easy to access scholarships when we are there. And I have heard that before. So if somebody should find him or herself in Canada by invitation, how possible will it be for that person to secure admission?
Do you understand the question?
Maybe for master's program.
You have traveled to Canada on a visitor visa. Can you convert your visitor visa to a study permit while there?
Okay, at the moment now still can convert onshore, but we heard that they are going to change the rules that you need to come back and apply for the changes. Or you can also apply there in Canada, but within your visitor visa, every time you can stay 6 months, right, in Canada. So within that 6 months, if your approval will not be approved for the visitor visa to change to study permit, then you have to leave the country because your validity for only 6 months stay with the visitor visa. Although these changes haven't applied, so still you can use this method. Yeah, because visitor visa is, of course, is easier than the study permit requirements without PAL and without offer letter. But as long as your funds is valid, is available enough to cover your living costs in Canada, then we can apply the visitor visa for you, and you can apply there. And then when you are there, we can apply for the master program. And once we get the offer and PAL, then we can apply visa onshore in Canada.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you. Someone was speaking previous. You can go ahead now, please.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I joined the webinar late. My first question is if I should go back. I believe it's being recorded. The webinar.
Yes, it's being recorded.
So what if I go through the recording version of it and I have questions? Where can I?
Okay, there was the phone number, the WhatsApp number on the screen earlier.
All right, that's the first question. Okay. The second question is if you want to secure loan to travel, what is the modalities for that? If you want to secure loan to travel, is there any means? And if yes, what is the modality for such loan? That's my second question. The third one is in line with what Dr. Oyeyemi just asked. If I should find my way as a student by paying, maybe for the first year, the subsequent year, can I still secure scholarship while they're already understanding the procedure as an insider? Can I still secure scholarship?
Sorry, if you don't mind, can you please go over the questions again so I can take them down? You don't forget.
Okay, you've answered the first one, which is the WhatsApp platform.
Yeah, that one is on the screen.
The second one, I'm asking, is there any means of securing loan? Okay. If you want to go for master's program.
You want to get loan? Yes, you want to get loan to study in Canada, right? Yes, we offer loan. Yeah, we offer loan as well. So please send your credential to Arrows. Yes. We can match the opportunity for you.
Okay. What is the modalities for such loan?
Model?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. The modalities for such loan, what is the modalities?
Yeah, it's very simple. You just need to submit your credential to Arrows. We will match the school for you, okay, based on your major, based on your university degree results. And then once you graduated, okay, once you got a job, then you need to repay the loan.
Okay.
They will give you an installment repayment period.
All right. Thank you very much. Now,
sorry, in addition to that, before you leave the loan issue, Canada does not offer loan to cover living expenses in most cases. They only cover your tuition. The US, you can cover both tuition and living expense. So you need to have that in mind. And then it is not every course that you can get a loan for. Mostly they offer loans for STEM courses. So you should also be aware of that. And not every university or college offers loans. And then it's not every program. Usually undergraduate programs, you can't get loans for them. Any program more than 2 years, you cannot get a loan. So, and since undergraduate programs are usually 3 or 4 years, you can't get loans for them. For master's program, you can get loans, but it depends on whether the institution you want to study offers the loan or whether the course you are studying qualifies for the loan. So you need to be aware of that.
Okay, I'm studying, I'm going for counseling psychology.
Counseling is not a STEM course, so it may be challenging getting a loan for that.
Okay.
With your credential, you just send to Arrows first, then we will match either Canada or either UK. We will see which are the loans available.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
And also, psychology
is it the same? Sorry.
Sorry, psychology is considered as one of the STEM courses, so you may get a loan for that. Please just submit your credentials to ARROS, then we'll take it up from there.
Okay, ma'am. Is it on the same WhatsApp platform?
Yes.
That same WhatsApp platform.
But you can, if you have not filled the form before, I would advise you should fill the form.
I have not filled the form.
Okay, so it's better you fill the form. You can go to ARROS website. Let me try to show you that, so you can easily go there. And then, can you see the screen?
Okay.
Okay, so here, this is the website, arrostransactions.com. If you go there, you will see the tab labeled admissions. When you click on that, you will see a form there. Fill the form, upload the required documents, and then an eligibility will be done. So you know what you can qualify for. It's free. So it's
right, ma'am. Another question that I have is that I need advice. Is it, I have masters at the moment. Is it advisable for me to apply for PhD or the second master? Which one do you think is advisable with the experience you have over there?
I think the main thing now is your priority is your loan, right? So we have to see which master has loan for you and which country. Then only we can see which one. Because if you have to see which is your priority. Your priority is PhD or your priority is your loan. If your priority is your loan, then you have to prioritize your loan. Any uni that with loan, that related major that you are eligible to apply, then we can go for it. Either PhD or master. But I would say that PhD will be very hard to go in because you need to get the supervisor first. Okay. So master will be the easiest way to go in.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, so the link to the admissions tab has been shared in the chat box, so you can directly click or copy. Any other question, please?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
This is Oluwatobi.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining.
Yes, I joined late though, but I have just one question. Just one question, please. My question is that is there any school that accepts sports in whether Canada or UK or US that can actually apply for?
That accepts
sport academy.
Sports science. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Sure. Go ahead. Daniel?
Maybe in US or in Canada. So
you want sport science degree, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's very simple. So we have all the
bachelor's or masters?
Me a master.
Master.
Yes.
Yeah,
master.
You can send your result to ARROS, then we can match the option for you. Yeah, no worries. We have all kinds of majors.
All right, no problem. Thank you so much. So that's my question, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question?
Yes, ma'am. I have a question. Yeah.
Okay.
As regard Canada, I don't know if it has been.
You are muted. We can't hear you.
Sorry, ma'am. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So as I was saying, I don't know if it has been discussed before joining the meeting. I want to ask: is TOEFL a major requirement for admission?
No.
If you have GRE, can it be waived?
TOEFL and GRE are not the same. TOEFL can be a waiver for IELTS. That's the other English test that is popular. But usually for Nigerians, which I assume you are, yes. For Nigerians, the English requirement is waived in many cases, especially if you are able to get the document called Medium of Instruction. So which states that you have studied in English language. So the English requirement can be waived for admission for you. But what she was talking about earlier, maybe you were not in then, is that now, starting from 1st of November this year, if you go in to study in Canada, irrespective of where you come from, irrespective of whether English requirement was waived for you during admission, when you are switching from student visa to work visa after graduation, you have to provide the English test.
Okay.
It's a new policy. So that's why she made all the analysis that if you want to escape that, then go in before November 1. Get your visa or apply for your visa before November 1 if you want to escape that. Anyone that is already in Canada now and anyone who goes in or get approval before the 1st of November will not be affected by that new requirement.
But with the present time frame, is that possible?
It's possible if everything is ready, because they are having a special program. They are offering a special program that they will expedite the process for you because of this particular situation.
Oh, okay. I will get in touch after this meeting.
It's okay, no problem. Okay. Yes, please. I can see a hand up. Timothy Olajide. Please go ahead, sir.
Well, thank you, madam, for the information so far. I just want to ask, if I want to join my son for his graduation, how can Arrows assist in getting visa, or how easy is it to get visa to join him for his graduation? Thank you.
Daniel, you want to answer?
Sorry, which one you mean?
He wants to attend his son's graduation in Canada. His son, we sent his son to Canada to study, I think a few years
that is easy. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
apply for the visitor visa.
Yeah. So we can get you a visitor visa. Usually it's not, I don't know how to put that. It's not a standard service that we render, but you are already family. So we will support you for that, because your son also went to Canada through Arrows. So we can support you for that. You can be in touch. Then we know, we'll tell you what documentations you need to provide. Then we can help you to make the application.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other question, please? Okay.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes.
Lastly, I want to ask, do you assist in processing to US as well?
We assist in processing to 30 countries.
Okay.
UK, US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Russia, and 30 countries. So.
Okay. All right. Because my preference is US.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you can be in touch. US is okay. Any other question from anyone? The audience. Okay. If there is none, I think it will... Go ahead, Samsung.
No, it's Ara. So my question is, we keep hearing things like, because I'm an engineering student, and the ideal type of opportunities I would want to get in the end, right? Or should I say my master plan in the end would be to work in the engineering industry in Canada. Is there can you paint a picture of a clear path that one can take to do that kind of thing? And then do you have any information as to if there is are these opportunities actually available? Because we keep hearing things like in the engineering industry, there's demand for young engineers because the Canadian engineers are getting older, blah, blah, blah. So are these true? And then what would be a clear path? Right now, I'm in my final year of a civil engineering degree. So, like, what would be a path to take to work in the industry rather than, I don't know. I personally am not a big fan of research. But if that's in the plan, then I just want to see what the picture would be like.
Okay, Daniel, that's asking what's the job opportunities in Canada? What is it like for international students who studied engineering? Is it improving? Is it getting worse? What does the future hold? How can someone prepare themselves to take advantage?
Are you a PG student or you're an undergrad student?
He's an undergraduate in his final year. He's currently studying in Malaysia. He's also one of Arrow's scholars.
I see. So if you're undergrad students, if you're going for postgrad diploma in Canada, it's very easy for you to find a job because STEM programs is easier to find a job because they need, I would say blue label manpower in any overseas countries. And it's easier for you to settle down there as well in terms of if you're holding STEM programs, skills and experience. Yeah, in terms of the qualification. I would say that engineering, you will not be worried in terms of the career opportunity. If your businesses or media or communication might find it quite competitive to find a job in any other country. Yeah, but provided that you perform very well in your interviews and you study very well, and of course you need to do co-op and internship during your studies, then shouldn't be a problem. If you're looking at Europe countries, UK, Ireland, Australia, of course, it will be more competitive to find a job. But if you're going into Canada or US at the moment, it's still not matured yet, you will be able to easier to find a job.
Sorry, thank you.
So I
Sorry,
think,
ma.
sorry,
Philip,
before you ask your question, sir, just to buttress what Daniel has said, Ara, I think one of the best things that you can do right now is make sure that your CGPA is excellent so that you stand a better chance because you'll be competing with the best from everywhere. So make sure that your CGPA is in good condition and then you prepare yourself ready. Like he has already mentioned about the internship. Your internship, make sure it's well documented. If you need to provide proof for anything, you are sure of what experience you have had too, and if you need to defend it, you are ready for that. Then you also, it will also be good if from time to time you can check occupations in demand in some of these countries. They always publish from time to time the occupations that are in demand. So like she said, STEM areas is always on the list. And engineering is part of STEM areas, but engineering are also different. And from country to country, sometimes some engineering fields are very, very much in demand. Some may be saturated at certain times. So checking from time to time can help you to keep abreast of the situation. And then in the age that we are living in, especially with what technology is doing right now, you can enhance your chances by making sure that in terms of technology, you are there. Develop your technological skills within your field. That will be very important. And then, as you also understand that for every field, there are different subfields within the same field. So it's possible that, let me use your profession as an example, you are in civil engineering. Within civil engineering, there are different aspects. So all of these different aspects may not be equally in demand. So check which one is most in demand, and then you can channel your career path in that direction. So those are assignments that you're going to have to do personally to make sure that you are prepared and ready. Thank you. So you can go ahead with your question, sir.
All right, ma'am. Still in line with the question I just asked. What about education in US and Canada?
Let Daniel answer that. Daniel?
What do you mean
Someone,
education in Canada? I don't understand.
someone studied education. They studied an education course. What are the chances of finding a
Yes.
job?
To be precise, education counseling.
If you study master counseling, are you already a psychologist or not psychologist? Do you have license?
As psychologist?
Yeah, psychologist license.
No.
No.
If you don't have license, you are just a normal students that are studying master in counseling or psychology. I would say that you can work as a job in assistance for psychologists, but you will not, be a psychologist if you didn't proceed into that field.
No, I'm
understand?
speaking after your education, after you have graduated. That's what I'm.
So you are not becoming a psychologist. You are just studying a normal Master of Education. Master of Education is just a normal Master of Education. You can be teacher, you can be counselor, but this is not TESOL. You don't have teacher license. You cannot teach as well. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is not professional program. I would say if you do a normal Master of Education, yes, you can be lecturer, you can be assistant of psychologist, counselor. Yeah, no issue for that because like education, healthcare, STEM programs are still popular in Canada. You can still able to get a job. But it's really very wide topic to talk here, no one can guarantee whether you can get a job or not. If I'm telling you can get a job 100% in Canada, I'm just cheating you. You understand? All the students here have to understand that to find a job, it really depends on your degree result, where Arrows just now mentioned. Your degree result is important. Your master result is important when you study in Canada. And during your studies in Canada, you have to do part-time job, co-op, internship. That one will grow your experience there and you grow your connection with the employer during your studies. And upon graduation, then you will get a job.
Okay.
So without doing all these things, without, growing yourself, your skills, and without knowing employers or, you didn't get a good studies and you didn't do a good interview, of course, you will not get a good job. Yeah, perhaps you could get part-time job. Yeah, so it's similar to all countries. Interview important, result important, experience is important. Not only in Canada.
Thank you. So let me add to that
Hello,
also.
Ma. Hello, Ma.
I will come to you, Ma. Let me add to the answer to this question on education because it happened to be my field also. One of the things that we usually talk about a lot during our webinars is, as an international student, right from the onset, don't set yourself up for failure. What I meant by that is there are some professions that they are categorized as regulated professions. Medicine, law, teaching, these are all regulated professions in every country. So you can imagine, let's say you are from Nigeria. Imagine someone studied education in China and they want to come to Nigeria to become teachers. How workable is that? So it's going to be very challenging. So for these regulated professions, there are basic requirements that qualifies you for a license. You need a license to practice. If you don't have the license, you cannot practice. So as a teacher, going out there to another country to become a teacher is not going to come easy. What can make it easy is if you are not going to be teaching in the elementary or high school, you go for teaching at college or university level. That will make it easier. So I will say, if that's your focus, if teaching is where you want to go, don't stop at master's. Make up your mind to do a PhD, and then you can become a lecturer. That's the easiest way to go around education. But to enter into the education system is almost near impossible if you don't have a license from that country. And that is one part. The second part is for courses that fall within the humanities and social sciences field, challenges are always there. Anything outside of STEM is very challenging because they are saturated. There are so many locals that are in that field. And they are not going to leave the locals and give an international a job that the locals can do. So there are always locals who can do those jobs. That's why it's very difficult as an international to really find a place there. So if you are interested in a place like that, better you go for the highest degree. Then it will become easy.
But I think for Ebola, if you are counseling background, if you want to change the education, it's very hard for you to get the visa because you are changing your major.
He's not changed. He's already in education.
No, I'm in education already.
You're already in education?
Yes,
Yes.
there is counseling and psychology in education. Education is wide. So
Okay.
you could fall in
So you're
different-
already an education background. Okay.
Yes.
That
Yes,
shouldn't be
I
a
want to
problem.
say,
Yeah.
yes, I want to say how possible is conversion. I have Cambridge certificate in education. So going to a foreign country, should that give me an edge to be able to teach? If I do hear about conversion, that such certificate can be, especially in the UK, if it is in the UK, that I can present such certificate for conversion.
This certificate was obtained online.
No, it's physical here in Nigeria, but we uploaded all our thesis to Cambridge, and a certificate was given to us directly from
It
Cambridge.
might be easier in the UK since it's a UK thing. It's
Yeah.
going to be almost impossible in Canada because Canada has its own system for teacher licensing. It's very
Okay.
US the same thing. So if you want to teach in Canada, you are going to need to apply for Canadian teaching license, which you can do if you have a bachelor's from Nigeria. If you have a bachelor's in education, you can use it. Or if you have a postgraduate diploma in education, you can use it to apply for your license to teach in Canada. But you also know there are so many other issues that we also surround this that we don't have the time to explore now. So
And thank God you said you are an educationist. I'm happy to hear
Yes,
that.
I-
Mommy
yes,
Taiwo,
I
I will be
am.
relating with you.
it's okay, no problem. Dr.
All right,
Ladimi,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was about to say that maybe while coming, one should make sure she has the license here. But from what you have said, I've been able to discover that even that will not suffice. One still needs to apply for international teaching license while there. So I was about to say that, like the brother or our daddy that was talking, I have a degree in counseling psychology. I have a background in counseling psychology and another master's in special education. Does it mean that with that, coming over there, I still need to possess another certificate that will qualify me to teach? Or what about getting lecturing job or research programs over there?
Research program, no problem. Lecturing, no problem. Teaching is where you will need a license. Did I answer your question?
Very clever.
Okay. I think she probably fell out of the call.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay. So I was answering you that for lecturing, for research, there is no problem. It is only when it comes to teaching, that's K to 12,